Many award shows has happened this weekend. We had SAG Awards, we had NAACP Image Awards, we had the Producer Guild Award. The biggest news that came from that was that Brendan Fraser did win the SAG Award, which means that I think him and Austin are tied now. I really respect Austin's performance in Elvis. I really do. The movie isn't good, but he did a great job. And I also think that this is his first time. This is also Brendan's first time being nominated. I think with his story and also just with the outstanding nature of the performance, like he just deserves the Oscar. He just does. And so this is a step in the right direction. And it's just very fitting that he ended up winning last night. Michelle Yeoh won her SAG Award for Best Actress, which is a bit of a break from Cate Blanchett kind of dominating everything. So I think that Cate Blanchett is still favored to win, but I do think that Michelle Yeoh has been putting up a really good campaign. So
the statistics out of the SAG Awards going forward for the Oscars is amazing. These statistics are from Joy Singh. She is senior editor of the Golden Derby. She said about 13 of the 72 ensemble winners have gone on to win Best Picture at the Oscars. So, of course, the newest ensemble in that trend is Everything Everywhere All at Once. They were the big winners for that. And another thing was, this is also the first time we spoke about the BAFTAs last year. She said this is the first time BAFTAs and SAG Awards together have gone 0 for 4 acting award winners since they became Oscar precursors. So basically, it's the first time both of them did not. It's like both of them, like the main 4 categories, did not have the same winners.
right.
So that kind of throws up a wrench a bit in the Best Acting Awards. But she did go on to say of the 22 of the 28 lead actor winners went on to win the corresponding Oscar. And there have only been 2 mismatches in the last 6 years. That's Denzel Washington and Casey Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Casey won that for, I think, Manchester by the Sea, if I'm correct, and Chadwick and Anthony Hopkins. This kind of is a good precursor to kind of what to expect for the Oscars. She also said it's the first time it's not an acting suite. Like, usually it's the same project winning all those categories.
Yeah, I kind of also like the idea that we won't be able to predict it that easily. I feel like it's nice that we have some variety, because that is kind of annoying in terms of just like having the same people win every single award ceremony. I feel like it's more interesting, and it makes going into Oscar night a little bit more exciting, because now we don't really know what's going to happen versus always knowing before or having a very strong idea of like what's going to happen. Angela Bassett did not win Best Supporting Actress. Jamie Lee Curtis won for her performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And as you were saying, and I saw this online too, that she talked about being a Nepo baby again. And it's like, I feel like we have had this discussion so many times, just like societally, about Nepo babies. And it's like, ma'am, listen, you don't understand why this is a problem. And I think that is the main issue. Not that you're a Nepo baby, because we know that. We've known it for years, however many years that you've been acting. The issue is that other people aren't getting opportunities because y'all are taking up the spaces. Like, that's the issue, honey. So, like...
And it's not even taking up the spaces. It's people who are untalented taking up spaces. It's like,
but it's both. It's like some people are talented and they get to take up those spaces, and you'll continue to see them in movie after movie. And then there are others who aren't talented and they'll still get opportunities where other people don't. So it's like both of y'all, whether you have the talent or not, you're still in the way. And it's not your fault. It's the system's fault. Because they need to make Hollywood more accessible to people who don't have connections and stuff. Like, that's what you should be working towards, not just continuing to recycle the same people just because of name recognition. And as we've seen in the box office and stuff like that, like, that doesn't even do anything anymore.
I think Jamie Lee Curtis, she's also a victim of that as well. And because I don't think if you asked anybody even around our parents' age to a degree, I don't think nobody really knew, unless you're Hollywood. Hollywood circles kind of knew, oh, her dad was an actor, that kind of thing.
Her mom,
Her mom, her parent, everybody, like a certain age group knew. But I do think she's also a victim of two things. And once again, I'm gonna say it's not a knock on the fact that your parents are successful actors, because you've proven that you yourself are successful actors. But as you said, she's a victim of two things. She's a Nepo baby, and also she's attached to a major franchise. Like, think about the last 20 years of Jamie Lee Curtis's work. Majority of it is the Halloween franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember before in the early 90s, like, she was doing other stuff, of course, as a kid, she was in Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching her in one movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. She did a lot of different stuff. But now, like, she was known for, hey, she's a lady in the Activia commercials, and she's also the lady in the Halloween franchise. So she's a dual victim of it. And I don't think, to what you said, she's not really blocking anybody because she's only doing the Halloween franchise. And for her, I think she does it because more or less her mother was kind of the original scream queen of, horror movies. And to her, I think her continuing to do the Halloween franchise is her way of honoring her mother and being along that lane of, scream queens or women who predominantly do horror movies.
And it's not about her specifically. It's about the entire Nepo baby situation that she's wearing very proudly. And it's like, okay, cool. But like, you do realize that this is an issue, not only in this industry, but everywhere. So like, I don't know how proudly you want to be wearing that title. No one's taking away any of your accomplishments. Like, you're here, like, you're doing your thing. Like, your talent is undisputed. That's not the issue here.
I was always looking for the next bankable thing. And yes, doing known quantity names, like, of course, you have the Barrymores, you have the Curtises, having the Sutherlands, have, people don't realize Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen, their brothers, and their dad is Martin Sheen, Hollywood banking all those names. You have Nicolas Cage, he's a Coppola. But it also reminds me of a couple years ago in Hollywood, we were signing all these, Vine and TikTok stars and saying, oh, we can turn them into actors, and their millions of fans who watch them on TikTok will somehow help us watch movies. So we had like a good 5-year run of just bad movies, on different platforms just because they're trying to like somehow convert these numbers, and they realized that was a bad idea because none of these people could act. They could do the 1 minute thing and be fine, but Hollywood at the end of the day is always going to try to make the most bang for your buck, which is a shortcut.
Anyways, I want her to stop talking about it. Let's talk about the NAACP Image Awards.
So the big, I don't know why it's a shocker. I guess it's one of those To America things. The biggest, I guess, reaction coming out of, the NAACP Awards was Will Smith winning for Outstanding Actor in a Motion Picture. This comes off of everything last year at the Oscars. This comes out also after about the nominee luncheon a couple weekends ago, that the person, I guess the president of the Oscars, brought up, oh, there'll be serious consequences for something like that if something like that happens again. So yeah, I kind of funny, and it also brings like all those issues of before you had predominantly white Hollywood saying, oh, he could have killed him, like Judd Apatow, which his first thing was he could have killed him. He was so angry. What if it was slap as a punch? He could have died on stage and all that stuff. It proves that like Black people will coalesce and support our own, and I do think if you ask a lot of Black people, they don't have the same reaction or the same opinion of predominantly white people have to what Will Smith, slapping Chris Rock. So yeah,
I'm not talking about that anymore. I will not get back into that.
Did you like that clip? Well, you can listen to the entire podcast because the 16mm Film Crew podcast is available on all major podcast platforms.